Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I think this is going to be quite cool. So I've been doing a lot of content around 3D printing and a lot of you might be like, please stop, I don't care about 3D printing. But what is quite cool about the 3D printer that I bought is that you can capture time-lapse videos of the things printing. You've probably seen it, it's like the thing growing almost out of nothing. And so I've got a video I made with just those Airsoft items that are in time-lapse format growing. So I'm going to show being printed. I'm going to show you guys that video now. It's going to be like the commentary style video. So I'll kind of talk through what it is that we're printing as we're doing it. It's a short one. So if you guys have any questions about this stuff as well by the end, definitely put that up there. But here we go. So this is the first one. This actually is one that a lot of the commenters actually on the last video said, hey, you need to reduce the size of this by 1% to make it fit. But it is a skin for an MWS magazine. I wanted to use it just as a dummy mag instead of a skin, but for some reason it wasn't fitting inside the actual replica, which was kind of annoying. So reducing 1% should help that. Printed it in grey, probably wouldn't do that again, but it actually ended up pretty cool. I don't know. This is actually a Saiga 12 K rail, so it's made out of carbon fiber PLA. You can see there it kind of messed up a bit. This one is actually one of the Novrich style like open universal holsters. Haven't really built this yet because I need to put some extra parts into it. Not sure about this one, but printed relatively quickly. All parts were there on one print, which I really like as opposed to doing different plates. This one, let's try and work it out as I'm like looking at it. It's quite hard to know what some of these are as they're going. This one is... Okay, so that last one was the attachment for that open holster. So it would allow you to basically attach that to your replica, put it in. I'm printing it for my... or I was printing it for my Ace Tech Volcano 40mm grenade launcher. Actually ended up buying the Novrich open holster, universal holster anyway. So basically the 3D print made me buy that in the end. So it's not really a successful 3D print story, that one. Okay, so this guy is foregrip. This was really cool. I found these on Bamboo Labs, like just searching for it. Angled foregrip. These little inserts you can also print, which may pop up in a second. You can just literally glue them in, but that thing was amazing. Printed in probably 30 minutes. This was an adapter for my MP9. So that basically allowed me... I'll go back a slight bit so you can see that. So this was an adapter for my MP9. So you can see here when it's finished, it basically allowed me to put that onto the MP9 massive kind of like barrel end and like thread it and then turn that into a 14mm counterclockwise. I actually haven't used it, but it allows me now to put any suppressor / tracer on the end of my MP9, which when I saw it I was like, that's worthwhile just printing it. Didn't actually lock in that well though, that one, annoyingly. Those are 2 end caps, I think, for a suppressor that I was printing there. Another 2 there as well. Oh, so these are the actual suppressors, I think. So this is actually a real suppressor for... Well, real suppressor. It's a suppressor for my Saiga 12K. No, it's not. It's for the MP9. So, sorry about this. So that's my MP9. So basically it allows me to put a tracer unit inside it on the front of my MP9, but that actually fits onto the MP9 barrel as opposed to doing an adapter, etc. Again, I wasn't not 100% sure about this one. I'm really trying to find a tracer version of the MP9 suppressor, so I'm going to switch that out. But this, again, printed super quick. That is one amazing thing about 3D printing, which I have mentioned before, is I'll go online, I'll pay money, I'll pay for shipping, something arrives and I'm like, this isn't what I wanted, it looked good in the pictures, or it just doesn't fit, or whatever it is. These things don't cost that much to print in general. And so even if it's like, oh, I printed it and I don't like it, I don't feel bad like throwing it away necessarily, or just like reprinting it or finding something else. And that's definitely saved me money, I would say. I mean, it probably is the opposite as well, where I'm just printing a lot more and buying a lot more effectively than I would have done. But still, this didn't work great. That's fine. I'll print something else. I'll find another model. but that end cap basically went into the end there and did that. This one is a foregrip. I think this is this weird shaped foregrip that I put onto my MP9. It was kind of like you can see here, it just starts turning into a very, very weird shape. I thought when I saw the file, it was a lot smaller than this, because you can see that thing gets pretty big. So I thought it was a lot smaller. However, it's a pretty big, chunky boy. And here it is right here, actually. So you can see the size of my hand here. It's a big boy, and so it's very, very comfortable, and I really like gripping it, but unfortunately, it wasn't what I expected. So some people said, hey, that's great, you know, just use it. It's super ergonomic. Some people said that's the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen, so I'm a bit mixed on that one. But yeah, as it started printing, I was like, wow, this thing is a lot bigger than I thought it was in the pictures. This is the pins for it. So actually, instead of having like screws that went in, this one actually printed pins that I can just use in place of it. So kind of cool that I've got that option, and I can literally just kind of stick them into the end piece there. It means that I don't have to look for screws and bolts, which I could do it as well. But basically I had the option there to print the actual pins for it. Did that. They work pretty well. Okay, so this is a Sega 12 SBS rail. So you can see here there's like a top rail part and a bottom rail part. All these little weird things are like tree supports, if you're wondering what they are. So it's not part of the actual build, you know, if you're not used to 3D printing, it's not part of the 3D print. It's just there to support. So it's done in like a structural way where it's using as minimal amount of filament as possible, but kind of like having a stronger base like a tree is, and then kind of like having little supports so that when it's printing that overhang, it's basically meaning that that's supported. So you rip all of those little pieces out. The actual thing when it's done is this. So you can see here, that's the lower piece, which is on that right side there. And it now does not have, you can see it, maybe that angle there. If you turn it like that. No, if I turn it, in my thing, it is like that, but then it's mirrored. So I'm like, okay. So if you turn it like that, it's basically that. So there you can see I've got rid of all of the tree supports from in there, but you need those basically to allow it to print properly. And that is basically what it printed. So the top bit there is that top rail, bottom bit is that bottom, and then that just literally clips in. So that's a great print. I really like that. I think I paid maybe $12 for that one, just in terms of the file. Now I can print it as many times as I want, and I am going to reprint it in a different like filament that's been recommended again by other commenters on the videos. And then here we have what looks like another foregrip. Yep, so this is another foregrip, number 3. This as well, really, really good. Like a kind of textured foregrip. I don't know where I've actually put that on my MP9 now, but it's a great size. Yeah, it was a good one. This is, okay, so I'll go back to that one quickly. This one was so that's that foregrip. And then this guys I'm printing here are actually like the bases of Glock mags. I'll show you it in this one. So they're basically the base plates for Glock mags. So that's what I've printed right there. And it's actually great. Like, prints super fast. I think I literally just was like, hey, I'll print 2 of them in one go. I've actually printed maybe 3 or 4 of these guys now. But it basically is just a base plate. It's slightly extended, so it's kind of like going to be a bit more protected. It's got the Glock logo on there, which is probably illegal that they can't do that. But I was really, really happy with that, to be honest. So those just fit perfectly in the bottom there. It gives me a little bit more to grab onto as I'm loading. And I don't know, I think it just looked cool. So I printed 2 of those. That probably took about like 15 minutes to do that. You can see how quick they're going up. This one is you can see some of the supports failed on this. Okay, so this is actually which is a mount for the night vision goggles, like Wilcox mount, and then it will basically attach to a GoPro or a camera. And I like this design because it actually like points it further out off your head, and then you can angle the camera down in that way. So that again was a really like easy one. But you can see at the bottom here, I know the screen's very small, but there is like a fail in terms of like where those supports dropped off. It's kind of not perfect. It doesn't affect the actual structure of it, so I'm just going to sand that down, but that is something that happened there. Was sometimes you just get the printer will just knock a support accidentally, or it doesn't adhere to the base, like the actual printing plate enough. I haven't had that happen very often, but that happened on this. So you can see there, those trees I'm going to remove anyway. This was a QLS plate for Safariland. This had a little circular adapter on it so that I could attach the Novrich universal holster. There's a video on that if you want to watch that. But now I can basically just print as many of those QLS forks as I want. So they're normally like $20, $30 to buy from Amazon. And now I can just print them if I want. I think the quality is probably not going to be as good, but if I break them, then I can just print another one. They have different versions of those. So, okay, so this is this flash hider I printed, which I think is really cool to see it go up because it's literally like skeletonized. It's on my PPK20 right now, but like really skeletonized. So you can see it's like going around and just dropping. And that's that top end there with the 40mm threads. This is, so these are suppressors here, or this is one of the suppressors. That's an end cap there. That's the thread cap that goes in, and then it's actually printing the body of the suppressor. So those two caps at the end are just going to attach to the ends here. That's it there. So cap there, and then the actual body of the suppressor. But you can literally just see it growing out of nothing, which I really, really love. So that was, and then those I will literally just print those. I don't know, I can't find a tracer unit that will fit inside it yet, so I need to do that. And then this one is actually this guy, which is again a suppressor unit, but for my Sega 12. So that's going to take one of the Quark M tracers in it, and I just thought this design was really, really cool. So I've printed that, and that's probably going to go on my Sega 12 SBS. But yeah, you can kind of see it growing out there, the end cap. A lot of that insert there, again, is just supports. So I've removed those now. They're not there anymore. Look at that. You can see the stringing there on this one. But this one is pistol grip. So it's a kind of copy of that Die-Free Code pistol grip. And that's kind of going up. It's kind of good. I've got these things here on my side that I can kind of show you what it is going to become. But that's where that guy goes. A couple of those supports went, so actually I had a little bit of damage there, but again I could just sand that. This one is AK charging handles, so they're just going to go on the top of the charging handles of the AK and go there. And then I've got some M-Lock cable management, so these are little plates there that go onto my M-Lock, and that's it. So we're at the end of the video. So these are two plates that will go onto my M-Lock, and then they manage the cable by just having the cable point there, and then that slips into the M-Lock. So I just printed like 5 or 6 of these, and they all just came up. So whenever any of my M-Lock that I've got cables on, I'm just going to kind of test these out and see how they work. I think it is going to depend a little bit on the angle on that one. But hopefully that was interesting for you guys. I really actually just like rewatching that stuff and seeing them come out of anywhere. If you have any questions on those parts that I printed, please do let me know down in the comments, and I will try and let you guys, and I'll try and answer them. But I hope you have a great day wherever you are. If you want to see more of this stuff, another series or another video of me doing all these ones, I'll try and do that for you. And yeah, have a great day. Speak soon. Bye-bye.